You lie in the dark, eyes closed, waiting for the world to fade away. For decades, we have treated this nightly ritual as a simple biological shutdown, a passive state of doing absolutely nothing while we wait for morning light. We often view a solid 8 hours as a luxury, something easily traded for more work, more entertainment, or another hour of scrolling. We mistakenly assume the body is simply parked in the garage, engine off, waiting for the ignition to turn again. That assumption is completely backward. The moment your consciousness slips away, your brain and body do not shut down, they power up. Sleep is an incredibly active, highly orchestrated biological process that is fundamentally critical to our immediate survival. It is a period of intense physiological repair, a master reset button that dictates how we think, how we heal, and ultimately how long we live. When we cut this process short, we are not just accumulating a mild, temporary debt of fatigue. We are actively denying our biology the vital, complex maintenance it requires to function properly. Chronic sleep deprivation acts as a slow moving wrecking ball, impairing our defenses, accelerating cellular aging, and laying the groundwork for a host of dangerous chronic diseases. The negative consequences of this deficit ripple through every organ, every tissue, and every single cell in our bodies. To fully grasp the sheer scale of this nightly operation, we first have to look inside the skull. The human brain is an incredibly energy intensive powerhouse, consuming roughly 20% of the body's total energy despite making up only 2% of its physical weight. This relentless metabolic activity produces a massive amount of cellular waste throughout the day. During our waking hours, this metabolic debris simply builds up, accumulating in the microscopic spaces between our busy brain cells. But what if the brain had a hidden, built in plumbing system? In 2012, researchers discovered exactly that, unveiling a microscopic network now known as the glymphatic system. This highly specialized waste clearance pathway is almost entirely inactive while we are awake and alert. It is only when we fall into a deep sleep that this crucial biological sanitation crew finally clocks in for its shift, ready to clear away the toxic byproducts of the day's intense mental labor. The physical mechanics of this cleaning process are nothing short of extraordinary. As we enter the deepest stages of rest, the brain's supportive glial cells actually shrink in size by up to 60%. This dramatic physical change significantly widens the microscopic channels existing between our neurons. Cerebrospinal fluid then rushes rapidly through these expanded spaces, literally washing the brain tissue and flushing the accumulated metabolic waste out into the circulatory system to be safely eliminated. The real surprise lies in exactly what this rushing fluid is washing away. One of the primary targets of this nightly deep clean is a metabolic byproduct called amyloid-beta. These specific proteins are infamous in the medical world as their toxic buildup and clumping form the devastating plaques heavily linked to neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's disease. By consistently skipping deep sleep, we are effectively leaving this hazardous waste to stagnate, allowing it to dangerously accumulate within our neural networks. This vital structural maintenance is only half the story unfolding in our sleeping minds. Beyond the physical removal of toxins, our brains are simultaneously performing a massive organizational overhaul of our memories and experiences. The chaotic, overwhelming influx of information we absorb during the day must be carefully sorted, processed, and securely stored, or it will simply be lost to the void. This brings us to the highly critical process of memory consolidation. Throughout the night, as we cycle repeatedly through different stages of sleep, the brain replays the day's events at lightning speed. It expertly sifts through the noise, discarding irrelevant details while physically strengthening the neural connections that hold important facts, emotions, and new skills. Short term memories are carefully transferred from the fragile holding area of the hippocampus into the durable long term storage vaults of the neocortex. Without this nightly archiving process, our ability to learn, adapt, and recall information severely degrades. You cannot simply cram data into an exhausted mind and expect it to stick long term. The science clearly shows that prioritizing a full night of rest after learning a new skill or studying complex material is absolutely non negotiable for true retention. The echoes of this cognitive reinforcement directly dictate our mental sharpness, focus, and emotional stability the very next day. Yet the profound benefits of this biological reset extend far beyond the boundaries of the brain. Moving down into the body, a lack of adequate rest triggers an immediate cascade of chemical disruptions. One of the most noticeable impacts hits our endocrine system, specifically disrupting the delicate balance of hormones that heavily dictate our hunger, our energy expenditure, and our overall metabolism. This metabolic disruption centers primarily on two key players in hormone regulation, ghrelin and leptin. Ghrelin is the chemical messenger that signals hunger, constantly telling your brain it is time to seek out food. Leptin is its direct counterpart, the hormone that signals satiety and tells you to stop eating because you have enough fuel. When you are sleep deprived, your body aggressively ramps up the production of ghrelin while simultaneously suppressing the release of leptin. The immediate result is a powerful biochemical drive to overeat, completely independent of your actual caloric needs for the day. Studies consistently show that individuals operating on insufficient rest consume significantly more calories, displaying a potent, almost uncontrollable craving for high carbohydrate, sugar dense foods. The exhausted body, desperate for the energy it failed to acquire through rest, demands quick, easily accessible fuel just to keep functioning. This hormonal chaos is further compounded by a sharp spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol levels from continuous sleep loss prompt the body to stubbornly hold onto fat reserves, particularly around the midsection, and can quickly lead to insulin resistance. The resistance to insulin remains a silent, growing threat, forcing the pancreas to work harder and dramatically increasing the long term risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Stay with us to uncover how this nightly reset also serves as our primary, most effective defense mechanism against illness and infection. While we are constantly busy worrying about diet and exercise, we often overlook the most potent immune booster naturally available to us. Sleep and the immune system are deeply, inextricably intertwined, engaging in a continuous, bidirectional dialogue that keeps us healthy. During prolonged periods of deep rest, our immune system significantly ramps up its production of protective, infection fighting proteins called cytokines. Certain types of these cytokines are absolutely essential for fighting off invading pathogens and actively reducing harmful inflammation throughout the entire body. When we are sick or injured, the body naturally demands more sleep to facilitate the massive production of these vital microscopic defenders. Conversely, depriving ourselves of this essential recovery time severely cripples our immune function. Robust research has demonstrated that individuals who consistently sleep less than 7 hours a night are nearly 3 times more likely to develop a cold after exposure to a virus than those who sleep 8 hours or more. Furthermore, a chronic lack of rest has been shown to significantly reduce the overall effectiveness of vaccines, as the exhausted body struggles to generate a strong antibody response. Orchestrating all of these incredibly complex, life sustaining biological rhythms is an internal master clock located deep within the brain. This innate timekeeping system, widely known as the circadian rhythm, strictly dictates our sleep wake cycle, perfectly aligning our internal physiology with the external environment. It is heavily influenced by external environmental cues, with natural light being the single most powerful trigger of all. Our modern, technologically driven world, however, is perfectly designed to shatter this delicate ancient rhythm. We regularly spend our evenings bathed in bright artificial light, staring directly into the glaring backlit screens of our digital devices. This specific wavelength of blue light mimics the midday sun, violently tricking our brains into believing it is still daytime and forcefully halting the natural production of melatonin, the vital hormone responsible for initiating sleep. To successfully reclaim our biological baseline, we must actively and deliberately defend our evenings from this artificial assault. Dimming the overhead lights in your home an hour or two before bed and intentionally stepping away from digital screens can profoundly impact your ability to fall asleep naturally. We have to respect the deep evolutionary programming that intricately links our physiological winding down to the setting of the sun. Beyond strictly managing our light exposure, the physical environment of our bedrooms plays a highly critical role in facilitating deep, restorative rest. The human body's core temperature actually needs to drop by roughly 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit to successfully initiate and maintain sleep. Keeping your bedroom remarkably cool, ideally hovering around 65 degrees Fahrenheit, sends a powerful physiological signal to your brain that it is time to transition into its nightly repair phase. Unwavering consistency is another incredibly powerful tool in optimizing this fundamental biological process. Going to bed and waking up at the exact same time every single day, even on weekends, strongly anchors your internal master clock. This strict regularity ensures that the complex, coordinated cascade of daily hormonal shifts, from the evening rise in melatonin to the morning peak in cortisol, happens predictably and highly efficiently. When we successfully string together consecutive nights of high quality, uninterrupted rest, the compounding physiological benefits are truly extraordinary. We are not merely avoiding the discomfort of daytime fatigue, we are actively investing in our long term cognitive health, our vital metabolic stability, and our robust immune resilience. The daily efficient removal of metabolic waste and the constant strengthening of neural pathways build a formidable lifelong defense against the ravages of aging. It is well past time to discard the outdated, deeply harmful narrative that falsely equates sleep deprivation with a strong work ethic or a badge of honor. The modern scientific consensus is overwhelmingly clear. Sacrificing rest does not lead to greater productivity, creativity, or success. It only leads to diminished mental capacity, accelerated physical decline, and a severely compromised overall quality of life. Deeply understanding how sleep cleanses your brain and boosts your body transforms it from a passive, annoying necessity into our absolute most powerful health asset. By relentlessly prioritizing this nightly biological reset, we directly empower our bodies to heal faster, our minds to sharpen further, and our immune defenses to fortify continuously. The path to a vibrant, resilient, and long life does not begin with the morning alarm. It begins the exact moment we turn out the light.